There is a reason you were guided to this message today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because hidden beneath the surface of your ordinary life, something has already started moving. A conversation has already happened. A decision has already been made. A path has already been chosen. And the most shocking part? The person connected to your soul, the person who has been thinking about you far more than you realize, is preparing to come closer than ever before. But there is one condition. It must stay a secret. Before you dismiss this, before your logical mind starts searching for explanations, listen carefully. Because what you are about to hear is not about fantasy. It is about energy. It is about timing. It is about the invisible connections that begin forming long before two people stand face to face. Your soulmate has been carrying a secret. A secret they have not shared with friends. A secret they have not shared with family. A secret they have barely admitted to themselves. And that secret is you. Not your name. Not your appearance. Not your social profile. You. Your energy. Your presence. The feeling they get when thoughts of you unexpectedly enter their mind. For months, perhaps even years, they have felt a strange pull they could never explain. At first, they ignored it. Then they questioned it. Then they tried to escape it. But every attempt only made the connection stronger. And now they are reaching a point where running is no longer possible. Because something has changed. Recently, your soulmate experienced a moment that shook them deeply. It may have happened while they were alone. It may have happened late at night. It may have happened during a conversation with someone they trust. But suddenly they realized something they could no longer deny. The person they have been searching for. The person their heart keeps returning to. The person who appears repeatedly in their thoughts. Is real. And that realization frightened them. Not because they do not want love. But because real love changes everything. Real love destroys old walls. Real love exposes hidden fears. Real love demands courage. And your soulmate knows this. That is why they have been quiet. That is why things may have felt delayed. That is why progress has seemed invisible. Because while you were wondering what was happening, they were fighting a battle inside themselves. A battle between fear and destiny. A battle between comfort and transformation. A battle between staying where they are and moving toward you. But destiny has been winning. Little by little. Day by day. Sign after sign. The universe has been placing reminders in front of them. Songs. Dreams. Random encounters. Unexpected emotions. Strange coincidences. Moments that make absolutely no sense until everything is viewed together. And now those pieces are forming a picture. A picture that leads directly toward you. But here is where the secret becomes important. Not everyone is meant to know what is happening. Some connections grow stronger in silence. Some blessings develop best when protected. Some miracles require privacy before they can fully emerge. That is why your soulmate has become more careful recently. They are observing. planning, preparing, watching, trying to understand how to approach what they feel without destroying it through fear or outside influence. Because there are people around them who would not understand. People who would call it impossible. People who would fill their mind with doubt. People who would convince them to stay where they are. And your soulmate is beginning to realize that some journeys must be walked quietly. This is one of them. The truth is that they are closer than you think. Much closer. The distance between two souls is never measured in miles. It is measured in readiness. And readiness is increasing every day. Something inside them is waking up. Something powerful. Something unstoppable. For a long time they believed they needed more answers before moving forward. Now they are beginning to understand that movement creates answers. Not the other way around. And because of this realization, they have started making changes. Small changes. Invisible changes. Changes that nobody notices. But each one brings them one step closer to you. They may be rearranging priorities. Ending old cycles. Releasing past attachments. Healing wounds they have carried for years. Learning lessons they avoided before. And every lesson completed opens another door. Every healed wound removes another obstacle. Every act of courage shortens the distance. Meanwhile, something extraordinary is happening on your side as well. Whether you realize it or not, you have also been changing. You have survived experiences that would have broken other people. You have endured disappointment, confusion, loneliness, waiting, questions without answers. But each challenge has strengthened you. Each setback has prepared you. Each delay has shaped you into someone capable of receiving what is coming. Because soulmate connections are not only about meeting. They are about becoming. The universe does not simply bring two people together. It prepares them first. And preparation often feels like frustration. You wonder why things are taking so long. You wonder why doors keep closing. You wonder why certain relationships never worked. You wonder why the timing always seems wrong. But one day the answers become clear. One day you look backward and realize every detour had a purpose. Every ending created space. Every disappointment redirected your path. Every lesson prepared your heart. And suddenly everything makes sense. Your soulmate is beginning to experience this realization right now. Pieces are connecting. Patterns are revealing themselves. Truths are becoming impossible to ignore. And the strongest truth of all is this. They are no longer willing to pretend the connection does not exist. That is why a visit is becoming more likely. Not necessarily announced. Not necessarily dramatic. Not necessarily expected. But significant. Very significant. Because when someone follows the guidance of their soul, events start unfolding rapidly. What seemed impossible yesterday becomes natural tomorrow. What seemed distant becomes close. What seemed uncertain becomes obvious. And this process has already started. The secret has reached a critical stage. Your soulmate knows something important. They know that if they speak too soon, outside opinions could interfere. If they reveal everything too early, fear could gain strength. If they share every detail before the right moment, confusion could cloud their judgment. So they are protecting the connection. Not hiding it out of shame. Protecting it out of respect. There is a difference. A gardener protects a seed before it becomes a tree. A dreamer protects a vision before it becomes reality. And your soulmate is protecting something precious. The possibility of you. What makes this even more shocking is that there have already been signs. Signs you may have overlooked. Moments that felt random. Feelings that appeared unexpectedly. Names. Numbers. Memories. Songs. Images. Strange sensations that seemed impossible to explain. Those signs were not accidents. They were reminders. Gentle nudges. Quiet messages. Proof that movement was occurring behind the scenes. Many people quit believing right before breakthrough arrives. Many people give up moments before the door opens. Many people stop trusting when they are closest to the answer. Do not make that mistake. Because the energy surrounding this connection is changing rapidly. The walls are weakening. The fears are shrinking. The path is clearing. And your soulmate can feel it. In fact, one of the biggest shocks is how often they think about you now. Far more than before. The thoughts arrive unexpectedly. During work. During conversations. During ordinary moments. Suddenly your energy appears in their mind. And once it appears, it refuses to leave. At first they tried to explain it logically. Then they tried to ignore it. Now they simply accept it. Because resistance has become exhausting. And acceptance has become peaceful. That shift changes everything. Acceptance is where destiny accelerates. Acceptance is where movement begins. Acceptance is where miracles enter. Your soulmate is entering that stage. A stage where their heart is becoming louder than their fear. A stage where curiosity is becoming stronger than hesitation. A stage where action is becoming more attractive than waiting. And that is why the secret matters. Because action often begins quietly. The biggest life changes rarely announce themselves. They start as private decisions. Private thoughts. Private commitments. A single moment where someone says, "Enough waiting. Enough doubting. Enough running. I need to know what happens next." Your soulmate is approaching that moment. Perhaps they already reached it. And if they have, everything changes from here. Because once a soul commits to its path, the universe begins arranging circumstances in extraordinary ways. Unexpected opportunities appear. Perfect timing emerges. Coincidences multiply. People cross paths. Conversations happen. Doors open. The impossible starts looking inevitable. You are closer to that chapter than you realize. The secret visit is not simply about physical presence. It represents something deeper. It represents courage. It represents truth. It represents a decision to stop hiding from what the heart already knows. And your soulmate's heart knows more than they admit. It knows that meeting you matters. It knows that understanding this connection matters. It knows that ignoring it is no longer possible. That awareness has become impossible to silence. Every day it grows stronger. Every day it becomes clearer. Every day it pushes them forward. So if life has felt strange recently, if emotions have been stronger than usual, if your intuition has been speaking louder, if certain thoughts keep repeating, pay attention. Because your soul often recognizes movement before your mind does. Your soul senses approaching change. Your soul notices shifts in energy. Your soul feels what logic cannot yet explain. And right now there is movement. Significant movement. The kind of movement that transforms stories. The kind of movement that creates unforgettable moments. The kind of movement that begins with a secret and ends with revelation. Your soulmate is not standing still. Your soulmate is not forgetting you. Your soulmate is not moving away from destiny. They are moving toward it. Toward answers. Toward courage. Toward truth. Toward you. And while the world continues as if nothing is happening, while ordinary days continue passing, while everything appears normal on the surface, an invisible journey is unfolding. A journey few people know about. A journey protected by silence. A journey guided by something greater than coincidence. That is why this message found you. To remind you that unseen progress is still progress. To remind you that silence does not mean absence. To remind you that destiny often works behind closed doors before revealing itself openly. The secret cannot stay hidden forever. Eventually truth surfaces. Eventually paths cross. Eventually hearts speak. Eventually what is meant to happen finds its way into reality. And when that moment arrives, you may look back at this day and realize something astonishing. The journey had already begun. The visit had already started energetically. The decision had already been made. The secret was already alive. And your soulmate was already finding their way toward you. The most surprising part of this story is not that your soulmate is coming closer. The most surprising part is that they almost didn't. There was a moment recently when fear nearly won. A moment when they considered staying silent forever. A moment when they convinced themselves that keeping distance would be easier than facing the truth. And if that had happened, the connection might have remained hidden for much longer. But something unexpected changed everything. Someone said something. They saw something. They felt something. Or perhaps they experienced a dream so vivid that they woke up unable to forget it. Whatever the trigger was, it broke through the walls they had spent so long building. For the first time, they stopped asking whether the connection was real. They started asking what would happen if they followed it. That single shift changed the entire direction of their future. Because questions create energy. And the moment your soulmate became curious instead of afraid, the universe responded. Signs became stronger. Synchronicities became more frequent. Their intuition became louder. And your presence within their thoughts became impossible to ignore. What they don't tell anyone is how often they replay certain feelings. How often they imagine conversations. How often they wonder what you are doing at random moments. How often they feel an emotional pull they cannot explain. Sometimes they try to distract themselves. Sometimes they focus on work. Sometimes they throw themselves into responsibilities. Yet somehow, no matter where their attention goes, it circles back. Back to the same feeling. Back to the same energy. Back to the same destination. You. And that realization has left them stunned. Because they are not used to feeling this way. They are not used to losing arguments against their own heart. They are not used to caring this deeply. They are not used to sensing someone's importance before fully understanding why. Yet here they are. Standing at the edge of a life-changing chapter. Knowing they can no longer move backward. Only forward. The secret has become heavier lately. Not because it is negative. But because it is powerful. Powerful truths become difficult to carry alone. Eventually they demand expression. Eventually they demand movement. Eventually they demand action. Your soulmate is beginning to understand this. Every day they delay, the feeling grows stronger. Every day they remain silent, the connection becomes louder. Every day they resist, destiny pushes harder. And that pressure is creating momentum. The kind of momentum that changes lives. The kind of momentum that creates encounters nobody expected. The kind of momentum that causes people to look back years later and say, "That was the moment everything changed." There is another secret they have not shared. A secret even deeper than the first. Part of them worries they are already too late. They worry that destiny may have missed its chance. They worry that perhaps too much time has passed. They worry that maybe circumstances have become too complicated. But each time those fears appear, something inside them responds. A quiet voice. A persistent feeling. An undeniable knowing. It tells them not to give up. It tells them to keep moving. It tells them the story is not over. And because of that inner guidance, they continue. One step at a time. One decision at a time. One act of courage at a time. The strange thing is that your soulmate has started noticing your energy in unexpected places. A song suddenly reminds them of you. A conversation unexpectedly brings your memory forward. A random image captures their attention. A name appears. A message appears. A coincidence appears. And every time it happens, they feel the same shock. Why does everything keep leading back to this connection? Why does life keep pointing in the same direction? Why does the universe refuse to let them forget? The answer is simpler than they think. Because some connections are assignments from destiny. Not obligations. Not guarantees. Assignments. Opportunities placed before two souls. Opportunities to choose courage. Opportunities to choose growth. Opportunities to choose love over fear. Your soulmate is beginning to realize that this opportunity is too valuable to ignore. That realization is making them stronger, more determined, more focused, more willing to take risks. And perhaps the most exciting revelation of all is this: they are preparing more than they admit. Far more. While others see ordinary behavior, a transformation is taking place beneath the surface. Old habits are being released. Old fears are being challenged. Old stories are being rewritten. And every transformation creates space for something new. That new chapter is approaching quickly. There may be moments when you feel nothing is happening. Moments when silence feels endless. Moments when answers seem distant. But silence is often deceptive. Seeds grow underground long before anyone sees a flower. Rivers carve mountains long before anyone notices change. And soulmate connections evolve in hidden places before becoming visible. Your connection is no different. The unseen work is already happening. The preparation is already happening. The alignment is already happening. And because of that, events may begin unfolding faster than expected. Many people assume destiny moves slowly. Sometimes it does. But once the right conditions exist, everything can accelerate. Months of waiting can lead to days of transformation. Years of preparation can lead to one life-changing moment. A single encounter can rewrite an entire future. Your soulmate feels that possibility. They sense it. Even when they cannot explain it. Even when logic argues against it. Even when circumstances appear ordinary. Deep inside, they know something significant is approaching. That knowing has become impossible to ignore. There is one final secret. The biggest secret of all. Your soulmate has begun imagining what happens after the meeting. Not just the meeting itself. After it. After the first conversation. After the first connection. After the first confirmation that what they felt was real. They have started wondering where the path leads next. And people only think that way when their heart has already made a decision. The mind debates. The heart decides. And your soulmate's heart is much further ahead than they admit. Much further. The truth is that they are no longer asking whether they should move toward you. They are asking how. They are asking when. They are asking what the first step should be. That is a completely different energy. And it changes everything. Because once someone begins searching for a path instead of searching for excuses, progress becomes inevitable. The walls come down. The distance shrinks. The fear weakens. The future opens. And suddenly the impossible starts becoming real. Right now, behind the scenes, a story is unfolding. A story few people know about. A story protected by silence. A story guided by timing. A story that has not yet revealed its final chapter. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The secret cannot remain hidden forever. The pull is too strong. The connection is too powerful. The timing is too important. And destiny is becoming too loud to ignore. Your soulmate feels it. Your soul feels it. The universe feels it. The path is opening. The distance is closing. The moment is approaching. And somewhere, perhaps closer than you think, someone is gathering the courage to stop wondering. And finally start moving toward you.